Hey, what is up, wood choppers? Andrew Rooney here, full-time drummer and drum teacher based right here in Auckland, New Zealand. Today, we are diving into a review of a budget-friendly e-kit with some serious pro features, the ALESIS NITRO Pro. As a drum teacher, I am constantly asked by students, parents of students, what drum kit should I get? And to be honest, it's a surprisingly tough question to answer and one that I don't always feel comfortable answering. The right answer for you is going to depend on many factors, and what's right for you may not be right for someone else. There are so many things to consider, starting with your budget. There's absolutely no point me suggesting something that's $8,000 to $10,000 out of your budget. Even if it's a great kit, it's not going to work. We've got to think about what you need. Does it feel good to play? Does it sound good? Is it within budget? Then you can start getting a little bit deeper into the weeds. Things such as mesh heads versus rubber pads. And you can just keep going deeper and deeper. Electronic kits are very specialized. And people start wanting to know about the latency.
What is the latency?
Babe, have we got any latency? No, I don't either. So right off the top of this review, a really important disclaimer. I am not an e-kit expert. I am, however, someone who has played and taught drums for a very long time. 20 years, in fact, from studying at music school to teaching 6 days a week and playing over 1,000 gigs here in New Zealand and around the world of every type you can imagine. Everything from quiet jazz and cafes to large-scale corporate events and theatre productions, and even playing the Imperial March in face paint with a full orchestra. I definitely know what I'm looking for when it comes to drums. I'm coming at this review from a more fundamental level, and my priority checklist is never going to be that technical. Is it sturdy? I really need my kit to be stable and not moving around. I mean, I play like an adult. I play like a drummer who's played a lot. Live gigs, all kinds of stuff. I hit pretty hard. I don't want that kit moving. I want the kit to sound good. Are the sounds real and authentic? I mean, does it sound like an acoustic drum kit? And are there a lot of sound options? Is it intuitive and relatively easy to use? Because again, I'm not an e-kit expert. And ultimately, at the end of the day, is it going to allow me or you to express ourselves as players? Alright, here's what you can expect in this video. We are going to discuss the price and what kind of value you are getting with the Nitro Pro compared to other options in the marketplace. A quick look at the unboxing and setup process, although this is not a setup video. Key features, potential pros, cons of the kit, and sound options. A direct comparison between the Nitro Pro and a slightly cheaper ALESIS offering in the Nitro Max. And then finally, my closing thoughts as to whether this is going to be a good kit recommendation for you. All right, let's jump in. All right, let's address the big hairy elephant in the room when it comes to e-kit and drum kit recommendations. How much does it cost? Well, the ALESIS NITRO Pro at the time of making this video comes in at $599 USD. That is really cheap for an e-kit. And as you're going to see, it's actually very reasonable for everything that's included with it. For comparison, the little brother to the Nitro Pro in the ALESIS range is the Nitro Max, which comes in at around $399. Really good price for a mesh e-kit. Yamaha DTX 402K 554. Roland TD07 KV, just staying under that $1,000 mark at $999. Then if we keep going up higher in the ALESIS range, we see the Strata Core at $1,999 And then the most advanced kit in the ALESIS range, the Strata Prime at $4,149. If you're completely new to buying drum gear or musical equipment in general, and you start having a bit of a search around, you might be a little bit shocked at how expensive gear can get. Now, this isn't to say that the ALESIS Nitro Pro is trying to compete with those type of kits, just a little bit of context and some figures to think about when considering value for the beginner or the intermediate player. When the kit arrived, I was really impressed with the packaging. I actually couldn't believe a whole kit could fit in that one box. The entire box weighs 30 kilos or 66 pounds. Manageable if you're a buff Kiwi, or maybe easier for two normal people. Every component was tightly and securely boxed, giving me confidence it would survive shipping intact. So what's included in the box? We've got a 10-inch dual zone mesh snare, 3 8-inch dual zone mesh tom pads, 8-inch mesh kick pad with drum tower, and this supports double kick pedals, bookmark that, 3 10-inch cymbals, hi-hat, ride with choke, crash with choke, kick pedal, hi-hat pedal. Next one's a really big one, guys, key feature, steel drum rack for added stability. We're going to come back to that really shortly. It's really important. Then you've got an accessory box, tools for assembly, a pair of drumsticks, and a 90-day pass to Drumeo. Come on. The accessory box comes with the brain or module and all the cabling needed. The only things you will need to source yourself are headphones or in-ears, so you can actually hear yourself playing, a seat, or commonly correctly referred to as a drum throne.
Excuse me, bass player. Retrieve my throne.
All right, setting up the Nitro Pro. I actually found the instructions included in the box a little bit too minimal for me. Honestly, as I say, I'm not used to setting up or even using electronic drum kits. I am, however, used to setting up acoustic drum kits. Look, to be honest, I'm not that good at following instructions at the best of times. I highly recommend watching the official ALESIS YouTube setup guide by Tuminaro. That video was an absolute lifesaver. From setting out all the components on the floor to being set up and actually playing and enjoying the kit was literally about 30 to 40 minutes. Really quick, really easy. And I could feel the sturdiness of the rack and the connections. It felt great. If you're a practical visual learner like me, you don't take too kindly
to instruction booklets trying to tell you what to do.
I will link to that video setup guide in the description of the video. Overall, I found the module incredibly easy to use, super intuitive, and fully customizable. Some of the key features: 36 preset kits featuring sounds created by BFD or Big Fat Drums, scope for creating and saving your own kits, built-in metronome, jam tracks, and effects like reverb, EQ, a sequencer for recording your playing. There's another big one, extra trigger inputs if you want to add an extra crash, side snare, tom. One thing's for sure, us drummers, we're always going to want to add on something. Another feature here is Bluetooth connectivity. This allows you to stream audio tracks from your phone or computer to the module for jamming along. But be aware the Bluetooth function does not output audio. You'll still need headphones or speakers connected via the module's outputs to hear the sound. Alright, I think one of the most obvious features and pros of this kit, and this can be a deal breaker for many people looking at e-kits, mesh heads. Mesh heads are a sign of a certain level of quality in e-kits as opposed to rubber pads. Mesh is basically quieter than rubber, which is ideal for practice at home, and it does provide a more realistic feel that more closely mimics an acoustic drum kit. Personally, I wouldn't recommend anything other than a mesh drum head. Another big one here is the durable hardware. The steel drum rack is stable and durable, which is essential for e-kits. Cheaper kits can skimp on the rack hardware quality, so this is a big plus for the Nitro Pro. And this is why I've found it quite hard recommending kits in the past, especially cheaper electronic kits. I mean, I don't want to be out recommending kits that are just going to be breaking or falling apart or just not going to be able to handle playing. And in the playing demos, I mean, I'm playing like a drummer, I'm playing pretty hard, but you'd be surprised. A lot of younger students, I mean, they play as hard, if not harder than me. You do not want your hardware moving around and certainly not breaking and just being troublesome. Learning the drums is challenging enough without hardware starting to move around while you're playing it or collapsing. Another aspect that I'll include in this hardware section, the 8-inch kick tower. It's really solid and compatible with double pedals. That's a feature that I understand is pretty rare on a beginner e-kit. One other thing on the hardware, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I mean, I can't even believe it was included to begin with. The kick pedal. I kind of love it. I must admit, I did get a shock when I saw that there was a kick pedal included in the box. I mean, I expected that I was going to have to supply my own kick pedal. And again, we were talking before about context, prices, and just letting you know what kind of a deal you are getting here. So to have one that comes with the kit that feels great, like straight out of the box, yeah, I was a little bit shocked, and I was actually a little bit unsettled at how much I enjoyed playing that kick pedal. I don't want to labor this point too much because hopefully this is coming across, but that kick tower pedal combo felt great. All right, let's talk a little bit about the sound library, sound options that are available with this kit. So to complement and enhance the sounds that come within the module, which were actually more than acceptable, the ALESIS Nitro Pro actually comes with the BFD sound library. Now this was all completely new to me. BFD is the company that makes the sounds, and they're actually part of the ALESIS family. So this is all in-house, no connectivity issues. You're not going to have problems getting the software to talk to the kit. It's really easy. Now this free access to this incredible high-level sound library offers complete customization, so many pro-level sound options. I was blown away. You can tweak compression, tone, saturation, EQ, faders. This is really professional grade flexibility, and the sounds are fantastic. I did notice that there was an expansion pack, and that was the Dark Mahogany expansion pack. It came with 6 preset kits made from Q custom drums, mahogany shells, and Zildjian cymbals. Now, if you're a drum geek like me, Q drums is pretty much the top of the top when it comes to custom drum builders. These guys are no joke. And of course, we all know and love Zildjian cymbals. These sounds rival anything I have ever heard. I was completely jaw on the ground, amazed. Honestly, I could not believe that I was all set up that quickly. It was that easy to install because again, I'm not an e-kit expert and I'm not a techie person. This was really easy to set up, and to be recording and listening back to my drums and they sound like that, I was amazed. Hey guys, quick pause here just in case you're getting a little bit overwhelmed or confused with some of the sound options. Thinking about downloading software to access extra sounds. I get it. It gets confusing. I get confused myself. I think it's important to explain that the external sounds or samples that are available with this kit are not necessities. They're just an added bonus. Typically, e-kit players and producers like to utilize external sample libraries as a way to access super pro sounds that are not usually provided in the module. You can, of course, absolutely simply just use the sounds that are provided in the module. They sound great too. Think of the BFD software and samples as an added bonus should you want to try it out. All right. For those that are wondering whether to go for the Nitro Pro over its sibling, the Nitro Max, Nitro Pro dual zone tom plane. It means you can play on the surface or on the rim. More realistic and versatile sounds and options. The larger 8-inch mesh pad on the kick tower on the Nitro Pro. Again, that steel framing for enhanced stability and also really important reinforced mounting hardware. Those things can really get a workout. It's worth investing in them. I think these upgrades make the Nitro Pro a more sturdy option, and for a few extra dollars, I think it's worth it. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Wrapping things up, I think at $599, this kit has incredible value for money. The mesh heads, the sturdy steel rack, the incredible sound library. Man, that kick pedal, I tell you. I think in terms of price, thinking of these features, I feel like this kit punches above its weight class. For the beginner or intermediate player looking for an electronic kit, I think it's a good option. And as a drum teacher, this is a kit that I could confidently recommend to a student or the parent of a student. And finally, if you like what you've seen and heard in this review, I will put a link to purchase the kit in the description of the video. I'd love to hear your feedback. Hit me up in the comments with any thoughts. If you've been playing and enjoying the ALESIS Nitro Pro, I'd love to hear about it. But for now, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Keep chopping wood. Ciao.